Hey, listen up. You need to grasp something right from the start. When the streets have something to say, you pay attention. Right now, there's a buzz in the air, a low-key vibe of disbelief about something that just came out. This isn't about who triumphed in the latest rap battle, although we'll touch on that seismic event. It's about one person who remained calm amidst the chaos, arms crossed, sipping her tea, as if the turmoil around her didn't affect her at all. We're talking about SZA. She just dropped a major revelation in a GQ cover story, and the way she addressed the biggest conflicts in the industry was genuine and striking, almost as if she were confiding in you over the fence on a sunny day. She clearly explained why she kept quiet while the two giants of rap, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, clashed. Then she casually mentioned the complicated, personal situation with Nicki Minaj. That's the headline, sure, but the real story? It's about the subtle moves she made while everything around her was in turmoil. You need to rewind to when the atmosphere felt heavy, like a storm was brewing. That's when the conflict between Drizzy and Dot escalated beyond just a rap feud. It became a test of loyalty across the industry. And SZA? She was close to both parties, not just the occasional text kind of close. This was deep, rooted in shared experiences and hit records. Consider this. On one side, there's Kendrick Lamar. She's part of TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, his crew, the foundation of her career. That's where she built her success. He's like a brother to her, a collaborator, the whole support system. They even co-headlined a huge stadium tour together, the Grand National Tour. They share dressing rooms, bus rides, everything. That's TD for life. But then there's Drake. He's the guy she dated, someone she's had a long-standing connection with, deeper than just chart success. They created the hit track Rich Baby Daddy, which was everywhere on the radio. So, when the lyrical battles began, and everyone was picking sides like it was gym class, SZA found herself straddling both sides of the divide. People were observing her, anticipating any sign, any indication of where her loyalties lay. The pressure must have felt overwhelming, akin to trying to breathe underwater. And how did she respond? She offered a straightforward, mature answer that was so simple it felt groundbreaking. She told GQ plainly, "It was something between two grown men, so why would I insert myself into that?" That statement encapsulated her entire philosophy. It wasn't her drama or her battle. She understood a fundamental truth. Despite others wanting to use her as a pawn in their game, her career, her peace, and her relationships belonged to her alone. She didn't need to be a commentator or a soldier in their conflict. She mentioned she didn't have any stake, piracy. To fans who were deeply invested in every diss track, that felt like a slap in the face. But for someone in the industry, viewing the broader context, it was a savvy move for self-preservation. Of course, she softened her stance because she's human. Obviously, I love Kendrick. I'm signed to Top Dog Entertainment. That's my family. And I've known Drake for a long time. We have a great relationship. It's always unfortunate when unfortunate things happen. It was a perfectly diplomatic reply, a delicate balancing act that deserves respect. However, let's not pretend everything was perfect behind the scenes. While she was giving interviews and staying silent, she was caught in the middle of the conflict in very public ways. This is where the story becomes truly intriguing, as her actions spoke louder than the words she chose not to say. Imagine this scene, because it's wild. It's the Super Bowl halftime show in 2025. A massive stage, a global audience. And who is Kendrick Lamar's main guest artist? SZA. She's right there. During his performance, he delivers Not Like Us, the diss track aimed squarely at Drake, the one that topped the charts. It was a huge public provocation. SZA is on stage, the energy is electric, and everyone knows what's happening and who he's addressing. By being there, she is complicit, right? She's part of TD, she's with her family, she's performing. The optics suggest she's endorsing Kendrick's side. The world thought, she made her choice. But wait a minute. Fast forward to the Grand National Tour, the trek she was co-headlining with Kendrick. Every single night, SZA would step onto that stage and sing her heart out on Rich Baby Daddy, the Drake duet. The song she made with the man Kata was actively trying to politically and musically assassinate. She's singing this infectious, joyous record, a straight-up celebration of Drizzy's world, while touring with the man who was throwing punches at him. That's a level of professionalism and boundary setting that is almost unheard of in that cutthroat world. When asked about it, her response was gold. It was defiant, yet casual. "Why wouldn't I?" she said of keeping the track on the set list. "I don't know why I wouldn't be celebrating some st that I ate up." That's the whole secret to her power right there. She didn't see the song as a chess piece in someone else's war, she saw it as her hit record. Her accomplishment. Something she ate up, meaning she killed it, she owned it. She was not going to let two grown men's beef cancel her own success. She kept the bag and she kept her peace. The crowd loved the song, she loved the song, and that's all that mattered. She was telling the entire industry, "My art is mine, and it is separate from your drama." That must have burned some people, but it was a power move, the ultimate statement of self-sovereignty. She navigated the mess, keeping her name clean and her money flowing, which is the ultimate win in the game. But the drama, it's like a hydra. You cut off one head, two more pop up. Just when she thought she was clear of the rap civil war, a whole new fire erupted, one that was far more personal, far more confusing, and, frankly, far more strange. This is where the story pivots from professional conflict to something that felt like a schoolyard bully pulling hair, only it was the queen of rap, Nicki Minaj, throwing the stones. This beef didn't even have a clear trigger, which is what makes SCA's reaction so telling. It wasn't about a verse, a sample, or a chart spot. It started with Nicki going after a few industry executives, specifically Roc Nation's Desiree Perez and Top Dog president Terrence "Punch" Henderson, who, importantly, used to be SCA's manager. That's the through line, the only connecting thread, but then, without any logical leap, Nicki just started dragging SZA into the mud. It went down on X, the place where all messy, fast-moving, high-stakes feuds live. And the posts weren't even about music. They were about SCA's appearance. Mean-spirited, personal insults designed to wound. You gotta imagine being SZA, sitting at home, watching this whole bizarre, unprovoked attack unfold. One of the biggest female artists in the world, someone SZA genuinely respects, is just firing off insults about her looks, pulling her into a fight that started with her old manager. It had to be a dizzying, confusing mess. SZA, for a moment, got in a few shots of her own. Because sometimes you can't just let that kind of disrespect ride, especially when the whole world is watching. She had to stand her ground, show she wasn't a pushover. But then she did the smartest thing possible. She stepped away. She pulled the plug. She went silent. She protected her energy and her peace, realizing that engaging fully was exactly what the aggressor wanted. Months later, with the dust settled and the whole situation just a strange memory, she finally opened up about it to the magazine. And the way she framed it was devastatingly simple. "I don't know her," she told GQ. 3 words that dismiss the entire conflict, that cut through the noise, that make the entire, messy back and forth feel completely insignificant. She elaborated, making it clear why the beef felt so hollow on her end. "We have no connection to each other. There's no backstory. Like, there was no through-line narrative. This is crucial." She's saying that for a beef to be real, it has to have a reason, a history, a through-line narrative. The Drake/Kendrick thing had history, had business, had deep competitive roots. The Nicki thing? It was just random shots fired from a distance. It was just like, Roc Nation? I don't know where it came from. She couldn't even justify why it happened, which is exactly why she refused to own it. She's basically saying, I am not going to correct a lie that I don't even have a connection to. That's not even my place to correct a narrative that I don't got st to do with. It's a genius move of deflection, of taking away all the power from the aggressor. Because if you don't acknowledge the basis of the fight can't stand. It was so out of left field, so unprovoked that it could only be described one way. It was a little strange, she admitted. It was very like, why? But also, I guess. That, I guess, is everything, man. It's the ultimate shrug, the final dismissal that closes the door on the whole confusing, bizarre episode. She basically filed it under, weird stuff that happens when you're famous. The more you look at SCA's approach, the more you realize it's a playbook for surviving the modern music game. It's a game of constant manufactured drama, where everyone wants you to pick a side, stir the pot, and be a character in their soap opera. But SZA refused. She decided that her brand, her art, her peace was more valuable than the fleeting attention of a rap war. Her entire career, especially over the last couple of years, has been a testament to the power of focused silence. While the men were trading bars and the women were trading insults, SZA was on the road, selling out stadiums, collecting awards, and just existing as one of the most culturally dominant artists in the world. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving in the middle of all the noise. And that is, without a doubt, a much more powerful statement than any diss track she could have dropped or any side she could have chosen. People forget that artists, especially artists with her level of vulnerability and humanity in their music, are still people. And watching two people you love go at it, or being attacked by someone you don't even know, is an exhausting, soul-sucking experience. Her choice to protect her energy is a deeply human and relatable response, even though she operates on a global scale. She recognized that the true fight wasn't the one happening on X or on the Hot 100. The true fight was for her own well-being and her creative space. And she won that fight hands down. She set a boundary that the entire industry needs to learn from. She showed that you can be connected to everyone, still do business with everyone, and still remain fiercely independent. She stood on stage with Kendrick while he was dissing Drake, and she sang her Drake song on the same tour. That's not being two-faced, that's being unilaterally focused on her own trajectory. It's saying, I'm going to celebrate my success, and I'm not going to let your personal grievances define my business or my life. Her final words on the Nicki beef, that she doesn't know her and there's no backstory, is the coldest, most effective shutdown you could ever imagine. It completely delegitimizes the entire conflict. If there's no history, no reason, then there's no reason to talk about it. It makes the aggressor look random, and SZA look like the person who is simply too busy, too grown, and too successful to entertain such baseless foolishness. She turned a potential PR disaster into a footnote in her own success story, a strange little hiccup she chose to ignore. And that, man, is the real story beneath the headline. The quiet power of the one person who refused to get pulled into the undertow. While the world was watching the drama, she was building a fortress of calm, a personal empire that no outside feud could penetrate. She's the new blueprint for longevity in this messy, loud, and demanding industry. Mind your business, protect your peace, and never, ever let someone else's drama cancel your shine. It's a lesson we can all take to the streets, the office, or wherever our own battles are being fought. Because at the end of the day, SZA proved that the ultimate winner is the one who keeps their cool and stays on the path to their own success, letting the noise of the beef just fade into the background. And that, right there, is a legend in the making. The question is, now that she's exposed her strategy, will the next generation be able to master the art of the powerful shrug? Only time will tell, but for now, SCA's game is untouchable. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.